GTA 5, we're doing the scrap letters, double A gamer for life. Okay, so GTA 5 has got a shitload of collectibles, and I got all the jumps done, and now I'm working on the letters. Okay, a few of the letters I needed to use motorcycles to climb up some rock faces, but this was the only one that you would need a helicopter or to parachute into. And there is a parachute in the center of Los Santos in a construction building that is very high. But the only parachute that I could think of at that particular time was at the top of the cable cars. And I don't have any helicopters at this point, but with the download, the atomic blimp was there, so I grabbed the blimp, got over the center of the airport, this center round area, not the top surface, but the ledge underneath it is where the letter scrap is. So this is my first time dealing with the parachutes, and so it was a little bit of a learning curve using this. Okay, but this is our service that we want to get to. Okay, this is going to start it off, and throughout all the letters, this was the only one that he really needed a helicopter or parachute in or anything to that effect. Every other letter you should be able to use a motorcycle to get to without too much trouble. There was one out there by Trevor's Airport where you needed to use a car to get to climb up, to get to the rock surface, to climb up to the top of these big rocks. We'll get to that in the later videos. But our second letter piece is right here. Okay, I'm going to zoom in and out of the map every time. You should have absolutely no trouble finding these locations. One of the things is you could use Chop, your dog, to help you collect these letters, but I just didn't want him to be around. Okay, on the outer surface of this little island here is our third piece of letter scrap. Okay, while I went from the airport to that edge, I wanted to work from the farther part out and then work my way in to where the concentration of the letters were. Okay, I was able to get out to that last letter to the coast with a bike, and then so I'm pretty much using a bike to kind of get around here. Once I get to letter 21 and up, I'm going to switch over to Michael. Okay, this one is inside the train tunnel. You have to cruise up the roadway up to the point where you can get on the tracks and then cruise down here. And when you're in the tunnel, it doesn't really pinpoint it on the map all that well, but you shouldn't have any trouble finding that letter. Okay, our next one is at the dock area on top of the containers. You might want to remember to jump there. Okay, so our next one is down on top of the bridge of a tugboat. There's no problem getting into this area, no water level or nothing to that effect, so just cruise over there. It is a little bit on the redundant side, maybe a little bit of a pain in the ass, but it's definitely a good idea to save the game as many times as possible. When I was leaving this particular area, I actually ran into a vehicle and got wasted, so you can deal with the losing of the money or just reloading the game, whatever works for you. Anyway, our next letter is at the end of Grove Street here. behind, I think it's almost like the last house, just walk in his backyard. The letter's on the back doorway. Okay, you're probably going to run into some ballers out here. I'm not looking for a fight at this particular time, so I'm just getting on my bike and getting out of there. Alright, so real close to the last letter, down in, I don't know, this is the Supermart or something, Megastore or something to that effect. Okay, so at the end of collecting all the 50 letters, the Starlet of Vinewood, basically we're catching a killer. And at the end of these videos, we'll get into a little bit on how we deal with that. Okay, I mentioned in the beginning of the video that this is the home of a parachute. So if you don't want to go all the way out to the cable cars, you can come up here and get a parachute. But getting to the top of this is a little on the lengthy side. It is extremely high, and there's several ladders getting up to that point. Anyway, parachute off, do whatever you gotta do. Head down to this bridge. On this walkway is our next letter scrap. I try to make the cutting in of the maps as quick as possible. I just want to make sure you guys get the locations down. I mean, the amount of collectibles in this game is it's a lot. Okay, so there's our next letter in this construction area. So I got the unique jumps done and I got the letters done, but I'm not in the point of the game to unlock the alien space parts, which is another 50 collectibles. And then there are also submarine pieces that need to be collected. I believe there's like 30 of those that you don't really get anything for. And then on top of that, there are 30 nuclear waste barrels that you use the little submarine to get. And then there's also 10 Epsilon collectibles. So I am going to be on this game for a little while. Right now I'm in the middle of doing the Epsilon missions, and just check out those videos for any of the particulars on that. My buddy Demented Priest is at the very end of the game. He's already got 100%. He's got gold on his missions. The one achievement that he can't get at this particular time is spending 150 million, because he can't get 150 million. And I think he's spent like 40 million or something at this point. The amount of money that's needed to buy businesses compared to the way the money comes in is not exactly, I don't know how to word it. It's just not right or thing. It's just when you buy the businesses, you know, you'll make 300,000-400,000 a week, which is not a very, you know, if you were making 300,000-400,000 in a day, that would be different. But in a week's time, it's just not a lot of money compared to what you need to buy these businesses. For instance, the golf course is 150 million, and that's kind of what he's driving for. But he's at the very end of the game, and there is no way to make that kind of money. You can't redo the heist, which, you know, pays, you know, the most money, you know, and regular jacking or whatever. I don't know what their mental thought was in this process, that they thought that there was enough game in here to do that. You know, street races only pay little. Jacking of armored vans don't pay that much. the randomness of the stuff to do in the game, it just doesn't pay all that much money. So to get hundreds of millions of dollars, it seems like an impossible task. I'm looking forward to talking to him because there was some kind of thing about buying airplane stock and then going down to the airport and shooting the other airplanes to make their stock go down, to make your stock go up, and then you sell your stock and repeating that process. I don't know. It just seems very ridiculous to me. Considering like I did the unique jumps and I had to buy like 4 bikes, and you get absolutely no money for doing the jumps, no bonus money for getting number 50 when you get it, and exception of an achievement. So, okay, now with the Epsilon missions and then the collectibles, you have to donate several thousands of dollars. And one of the cars I needed to collect for them, I had to buy, which is $250,000. So you're going to have almost like a $300,000 to $400,000 invested in that, but then at the end you'll get $2 million. But in reality, it's only like 1.5. Consider what you put back into it, or what you put into it. So still $1.5 million. By far at this point in the game is going to be a decent payoff. I'm not at that point yet. I'm still in the middle of those missions. I'm at the point where I have to buy their robes and then wear them for 10 consecutive days. I don't know. It's just some of this stuff is just off the hook a little bit as far as being on the ridiculous side. There's no way I could ever work for one of these companies. I'd be getting fired all the time because I'd be like, this stuff is messed up, man. Why are we doing this? Because there's so much game in here. I would be pretty frustrated if I was like my buddy Demented Priest, where I was at the end of the game. I did everything. I got my gold. I got my achievement, but I just could not make 150 million. There's just no way in the game to get that kind of money. It'd be different, like off mission, you were able to do some of the jewelry stores. I mean, you definitely need to rob some places that made some big money. I mean, if you rob stores, you're talking $200, $300, $400, $500, $600. I mean, there's just not enough money there to make 150 million. And later on, when you do get the businesses, you will have to go defend them, which is cool. I'm down with that, but they will jack you because you'll be in the middle of doing things like my buddy was in the middle of doing the knife edges or under the bridges and stuff like that. And you'll get an email saying you need to defend your businesses while you're in the middle of something. That's typical Rockstar BS, but because like he was telling me he was in the middle of doing the knife edges, and he'd have to go land his airplane and then go defend his business and come back, where you just want to finish him. And I suppose you could do that. I don't really know the particulars, but the way the money is, you want to keep the money rolling in. For instance, like these letter scraps, I mean, you're talking about investing a lot of your time collecting all these to catch a killer at the end, which yields $0. And like when you collect the submarine pieces, you get $10, and you can be sure you're going to be put some hours of your life into that. Okay, so our next letter piece is going to be inside the movie theater or the movie studio, and you're going to get a wanted level. Okay, so as soon as you crash through the gate, you want to make a left and head to the back area of the movie lot, and you head to these stairs to the. You take the left down the alley, then you turn left at the end of the alley to these stairs to get your letter scrap, and then obviously you're gonna have to deal with the wanted level. I decided to shoot it out, and it didn't turn out too well for me. So that's our 20th letter scrap. When we come back with our next video, we're going to be as Michael, because I want to get his driving ability up. So we'll see you there. If you like the videos, you can always support us by checking out the ads.